So you're not going to turn this around. It's sort of the, in many ways, the end of our society, the end of our culture. I mean, you say, well, who's having children? Who's actually having children in the United States of America in terms of the population? There are groups that are having large families. Very religious people have large families because they follow the Bible. It's very simple. That's why they're mocked by Bill Markowitz and people like that who have no children, because these are death worshippers. HBO picks only death worshippers to glorify in comedy and hates life. They hate life worshippers and hate life. HBO only likes those who mock life and those who worship death. And that's why they attack the religious, because the religious actually give life to the world and bring life to the world. That's why the Pope is being attacked, because the devil is very smart. The devil is a fallen angel. And so the devil has gotten so smart, and with a little help from their friends in the media, they can actually turn a decent man, the Pope, into an evil man, and turn an evil man like Ahmadinejad into a nice man. That's what happens in the end of days. So you say, well, maybe he's being too depressive, too negative, right? I don't know. I can't analyze why I'm saying things and in what order and what do you want me to do? Be like a fake optimist for you? Would you prefer me to be one of those media, how to win friends and influence peoples with that malarkey, everything's coming up roses, and I read the book, and, and more honey, you can get more flies with honey than vinegar, and I read all that crap. But there's a time to be pessimistic, because pessimism also tells a story. Pessimism also can motivate people, in case you don't know it. This false optimism, this malarkey, the Republican malarkey of follow me and elect me and everything will be good. I'm not Sean Hannity, for God's sakes. I never wanted to be like a guy like him. He's probably a nice guy, but I'm not going to go for that crap, that garbage of elect Republicans and the world's going to be a better place. For God's sakes, they ran the country into the toilet for 8 straight years. So you say, well, where does that leave us? I don't know. You figure it out. I'm only a talk show host. I'm not a prophet. You figure out what to do with it. What do you want me to do? Tell you what to do? I'm not your father. I know what I have to do. That's all. I have to get up every day and I have to figure out what to tell you that is of some interest and of some meaning. And the rest is up to you. It's not up to me. And if I can, make you do something positive, fine. If I can't, there's no reason to do the show. So that's why I revert to the Bible, because in times like this, frankly, I believe the Holy Scriptures have a lot to offer. And in particular, when you have a global view of politics, as I do, with such a vast armamentarium of facts at my disposal, and if I could read Isaiah and I could find a news story to go with it, I think I'm doing you a favor, by the way. Many of you grew up on the pacifism of the Bible, and believe me, there's plenty of it. For example, I'll give you something for the liberals out there. And he shall judge between the nations and shall decide for many peoples, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. That all sounds very good, unless the nation is coming to destroy you, which, as you well know, Iran would like to take over the world. Now, even CNN understands what would happen if Al-Qaeda exploded a dirty bomb in New York City. Even CNN ran a piece on this together. Today. You will not believe this. And I don't think we should begin with number 17. Pick up with 19. Go ahead.
1 kiloton bomb, we're talking about the biggest concentration of damage is going to be about, what, 1/6 of a mile from where it detonates.
About 1/6 of a mile.
Right.
And in this inner red circle, probably that means scraping the ground clean of everything that was there, except maybe the heaviest of buildings.
And then about 1/3 of a mile from where it detonates.
That's about a 5 pound per square inch overpressure, and that means that homes and light construction is gone. A lot of heavy concrete buildings will survive.
What about the casualty numbers from either 1 to 2 kilotons?
A good working number is somewhere between 50,000 and 100,000 for a small bomb detonated in a city.
You're talking deaths?
Oh, yes, I'm talking fatalities. Buildings...
Now, here you have a madman, Iran, saying that if we attack him, he's going to set off his sleeper agents in America, and they will detonate dirty bombs in New York City and elsewhere. And we have a government that is flat-footed, useless, worthless, unable to protect us. You have a Department of Homeland Security with trillions of dollars in budget that's worried about 6 schmucks with guns in Upper Michigan, who they said was going to take over the government. You hear this? That's what they spent with tanks and helicopters on, instead of worrying about these guys who are hiding in America with dirty bombs. Wouldn't it make sense for them to put an investigation in every mosque in America, and the hell with the people who scream, tell them to go to hell if you don't like it because we don't want to die if you don't mind? Go to hell with the ACLU. We're going to try to find out who infiltrated your mosque. And you know what? If you don't help us, we suspect you're one of them, you piece of... I can't take it anymore. This is why I'm really anguished. I'm living in a time like no time in my entire life. I've always known politicians were basically finaglers and BS artists. There's nothing new under the sun about that. It's been written about from the beginning of time. But there was a line that politicians would never cross. Never. And that line was loyalty. That line was national security. When they did cross that line, they were found out by Senator McCarthy, who ran the great UAC hearings, one of the greatest services America has ever had, where he exposed the real communists in America, the real enemies of our freedom and survival. And, of course, I've said before on the show, we need a new UAC. The problem is we have a spineless Congress, a worthless Republican Party, and consequently we will never get the investigation we need to root out the enemies of our survival. So where the hell does that leave us? Here you have Iran threatening to detonate nuclear weapons in America, and you have a defense secretary, not a word. You have Janet Napolitano of Homeland Security, not a word. But she has plenty of words for anti-abortion people. She has plenty of words for returning military veterans. They have plenty of words that are written for them by the Southern Poverty Law Center, Mark Podak, but not one word about Arabs or Muslims who may be wanting to set off a nuclear weapon in America. Not one word. Here in San Francisco, we have a new police chief, a fine police chief. And 2 weeks ago, a terrible thing happened. He was giving a speech in San Francisco, and he said to a group of Arabs and Muslims that we should be vigilant in your communities. He told the Arabs and Muslims, you should be vigilant amongst the Somali and Yemeni community for people who may have come into the country in these communities who may be terrorists. They went crazy. And with a little help from their perverted psycho friends in the ACLU, they tried to get the police chief fired. Instead, he had to grovel before the Arab and Muslims, particularly those from Yemen and from the other country I mentioned, as a result of pressure by the wonderful patriotic organization known as CAIR. Okay, so that's the state that we're in. We've got spineless, worthless politicians. You've got pressure groups, some of which are working for the enemy. You've got pressure groups that will, in fact, kill us all unless we, the people, stand up to them because the government's in our way. There used to be a statement in the 70s when the, when the government won't lead, the people must, when the leaders won't lead, the people must lead the leaders. Remember that one? Remember how popular that was amongst liberals? When the leaders won't lead, the people must lead the leaders. Well, now you got the people trying to lead the leaders. They're called the Tea Party. And where are the skunks called the liberals? They're calling the Tea Party movement Nazis. Well, the hell with the liberals. They never were sane. They never were worth anything. And if we listen to them, we're all going to die. That's my opinion. That's all there is to it. And we better demand more out of our intelligence agencies, so-called. And we better demand more out of our so-called Homeland Security Department, who is harassing patriots and not doing a god-darn thing about the people who might kill us. Again, let me repeat it in case you missed it. Ahmadinejad, the Hitler of our time, has said pointedly, if Iran is attacked, he will authorize the detonation of dirty bombs in the United States of America by sleeper agents. To me, that's a declaration of war. To me, I run the FBI or Homeland Security. There is an investigation of every mosque in America. How the hell can we survive if they won't even identify the enemy as Islamic terrorists? How the hell do we survive if we have such spineless people running the intelligence agencies, looking over their shoulders, afraid of a bunch of enemies in organizations that might report them to some civil rights group? Oh, how far we have fallen. What a dream this would have been for Adolf Hitler in 1937, 38, and 39. If only we had in those years organizations such as these. If only Adolf Hitler could have put out his minions to say, you can't investigate anyone in the German-American community because that would be racial profiling. So although Germany is certainly on the move and on a war path, and we have agents in America, the FBI can't look at anyone on the Upper West Side. You can't go into any German bars or German delis or German tailor shops. Because if you do, we'll report you to the whatever government department for racial profiling. So we'll let the spies do their job here in America. We'll let them blow up ships on the waterfront. And you and the FBI, don't you dare do your job, because we, the little men in CAIR, or the little men in the Council on German-American Freedom Bund Association, will report you. So we would have lost World War II. If we had the same spineless leadership that we have today, the same spineless, myopic leaders that we have today, most of you listening to the show would be speaking German, and the rest of you would be lampshades. And I'll be right back.